There we go.
Good morning, everyone. This is Scarlett Roger from beautiful Tampa, Florida, and welcome to the Fearless Online Entrepreneurs Book Club Reading and Mastermind Group. Today, I am here with our wonderful Canadians, Miss Diane Klein and Jody Malley, and we're working through the Success Principles by Jack Canfield, and you can go to whoever it is that brought you to this, or go back to them and they can help you get a copy of this book if you'd like to get a copy of this book, or if you'd like any more information at all. You can always also go to our Facebook page, the Fearless Online Entrepreneurs, if you'd like to join our group. Today we are on Principle 41, and I will start reading, and then if one of my wonderful panelists want to join me, just let me know in the chat. Principle 41, build a powerful support team and delegate to them. The ascent of Everest was not the work of one day, nor even those few unforgettable weeks in which we climbed. It is, in fact, a tale of sustained and tenacious endeavor by many over a long period of time. Sir John Hunt scaled Mount Everest in 1953. Every high achiever has a personal team or key staff members, consultants, vendors, or helpers who do the bulk of the work while he or she is free to create new sources of income and new opportunities for success. The world's greatest philanthropists, athletes, entertainers, professionals, and others also have people who manage projects and handle everyday tasks, enabling them to do more for others, hone in their craft, practice their sport, and so on. The total focus process. To help you clarify what you should be spending your time on and what you should be delegating to others, do the following exercise. Your goal is to find the top 1, 2, or 3 activities that best use your core genius, bring you the most money, and produce the greatest level of enjoyment. 1. Start by listing all the activities that occupy your time, whether they're business-related, personal, or related to your civic organizations or volunteer work. List even small tasks such as returning phone calls, filing, or photocopying. 2. Next, choose from the list those 1, 2, or 3 things you are particularly brilliant at, your special and unique talents, those things very few other people can do as well as you. Also, choose from the list the 3 activities that generate the most income for you and your company. Any activities that you are brilliant at and that generate the most income for you or your company are the activities that you will want to focus the most time and energy. Finally, create a plan for delegating everything else to other people. Delegating takes time, training, and patience, but over time you can keep chipping away at the low payoff, non-essential tasks on your list until you're doing less and less of those and more of what you're really good at. That is how you create a brilliant career. Seek out staff members, key staff members. If you're a business owner, and remember, becoming an entrepreneur early in life is one of the hallmarks of the most successful individuals throughout modern history. Start looking for key staff members now, or train your existing staff members on the tasks you identified above. If you're a one-person business, start looking for a dynamic number 2 person who could handle your projects, run your programs, book your sales transactions, and completely take over other tasks while you concentrate on what you do best. You can hire them outright as employees, or you can have them work part-time on a contract base as your company grows. I've also seen many future achievers find top-flight business manager months sooner than they expected, only to see their business grow exponentially once they make a deal to bring that person on board. Of philanthropic pursuits of community projects are your business, there are volunteers you can hire to help you. Consider college interns who might work solely for class credit. We use several in our company, or perhaps a local foundation. You can offer staff support for your project. You never know until you ask. And if you're a stay-at-home mom or dad, your most valuable staff will be your house cleaner, teenage helper down the street, your babysitter, and others who can help you get time away for time by yourself and with your spouse. A neighbor babysitter could also do grocery shopping, get your car washed, pick up your kids, or pick up the laundry, dry cleaning, all for $8 an hour. If you're single parents, folks if you're a single parent, these folks are even more important to success future and should be chosen with great care. Often you will find that once you put the word out, the right person was already circulating in your universe. You just didn't know it. Would somebody else like to read?
Sure, I'll read. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll go for it. Why you need personal advisors. Our world has become a very complex place. Just filing your tax return, planning for retirement, rewarding your employees, even buying a home has become more complicated than ever. That's why every high achiever has a powerful team of personal advisors to turn to for assistance, advice, and support. In fact, this team is so critical, it pays to begin assembling the team early on in your success journey. Regardless of whether you own a business, work for someone else, or stay home and raise your children, you need personal advisors to answer questions, help you plan, ensure that you make the most of life's efforts, and more. Your personal advisor can walk you through challenges and opportunities, saving you time, effort, and usually money. Your team of advisors should include your banker, your lawyer, a high net worth certified public accountant, your investment counselor, your doctor, nutritionist, personal trainer, and the leader of your religious organization. In fact, if you run a business, this principle takes on a whole new meaning. Too many business owners, for example, don't even have an accountant. They run their entire business on a computer program and never have any outside expert checking their numbers. They never form relationships with outside consultants who can free them up to pursue their core competency and help them grow. If you're a teenager or a college student, your team might be your parents, your best friends, your football coach, your counselor, people who believe in you. Often with teens, we find that their parents aren't really a part of their core group, but instead are part of the enemy. Sometimes this is the teen's perception, but sometimes it's actually the way things are. If your parents are dysfunctional, alcoholic, or abusive, or if they're simply not there because they're workaholics or divorced, you need a team of friends and other adults in your corner. Often it's a parent of another teen in your neighborhood. If you're a working mom, your core group should include a good babysitter or daycare program. Not only should you investigate them thoroughly, but you should also have a backup resource. You should have a good pediatrician and dentist too, plus others who can support you in raising healthy, happy children as you pursue your career. Athletes have their coterie of coaches, chiropractors, nutritionists, and performance consultants. They have, as part of their support group, people who specialize in designing diets for their body type and for their sport. They find trustworthy advisors and build and maintain those relationships over time. Once you determine who members of this support team are, you can begin to build and nurture those relationships. Make sure team members are clear about what you expect from them and that you are clear about what they expect from you. Is this a paid relationship? What kind of work relationship is preferable? How can both of you be there when the other person needs you? How can team members help you grow and succeed? And finally, how can you keep in touch with them and best maintain this relationship? I recommend that you create a schedule of monthly, quarterly, or semi-annual meetings with every member of your team.
Mm.
Once you've chosen your team members, trust them. If you don't have an assistant, you are one. Raymond Aaron, founder, The Monthly Mentor. If you have chosen with care, you can begin to offload anything and everything that takes you away from focusing on your core genius, even personal projects. When Raymond Aaron sold his home and decided to move into an apartment, he delegated the entire project to his assistant. He told her to find a one-bedroom luxury apartment near his office with an exercise facility on the main floor. Find it, negotiate the lease, and bring me the contract to sign, he said. Then hire a moving van, get a check from my office to pay the movers, pack up the fragile items, supervise the movers, and drive behind them to my new home. He even had her hire an advanced cleaning crew, arrange the furniture with the movers, unpack boxes, put everything away, and call Raymond when the move was complete. And where was Raymond? Well, his assistant was moving his house on vacation in Florida. Nice. Though we often fear that if someone else performs tasks for us, they wouldn't be done well, the reality is there are people who love to do what you hate to do, and they often do a much better job than you would or could yourself, at a surprisingly low cost. Ooh, we're done. Wow.
And just in time, too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Diane. That was awesome.
Well,
This is like so perfect for me. So it seems like they're just writing this book right where we are. Our group right now, we are in the process. I think we've spoken about this, bringing in virtual assistants, and I have to say I've had pushback just because, oh, I can do this. It seems like all the things I like to do. Well, God's kind of shown me I don't really like to do them. I would much rather be doing something with my family than sitting on eBay for 2 days this weekend. But we do what we need to do to grow our business. So I really like that, because even like, as y'all know, my hobby is cheerleading coach. And I don't know why it's easy for me to bring in a choreographer and bring in a tumbling coach and bring in a dance instructor. And I seem to still, I do that part well. I need to bring what I do well in my hobby into my business life so that it can free me up to actually get more accomplished. And I thank you ladies for continuing to get that going.
I love that point, too. When I was younger, I was a gymnast, and, we had those people who supported us. We had parents, we had coaches, we had other team members, and yet when women are faced with starting a home business, we don't think of some of the things that he had outlined in there too, even for single parents, mom or dads, where what other things can you outsource that's around your home? Having an assistant, having somebody to come in and clean. And we feel sometimes, I did it first, I don't so much anymore, but you feel guilty about paying someone to do those things because you think you should do them yourself. And yet a lot of the housekeeping chores and things like that, if you are doing them yourself, well, I always write a list out as if I have a housekeeper right now. And I told my kids, too, summer vacation started early here in BC because the teachers are on strike. So I said to my kids, guess what? Every morning you're going to be helping me for half an hour, tidy up and clean, and then you have to read before you even go on the computer or the TV, right? So you can see my son behind me. He's on his own computer now. But, you can't forget those things. Why are we willing to do it if say, our kids are even being coached? Or I know Diane has a daughter who's in wanting to do movies and is doing that type of stuff. Well, in the movies and everything too, you have a director, you have someone who coordinates everything. Those are key people to your business. And as small business owners or home business owners, we often forget to have other people do some of the tasks so that we can focus more on what we love. And not to forget, because I know when we're going through this process of VAs, I've heard from several of us in the group that well, we shouldn't have that time as whatever. They'll be just so bored doing that. But the reality is that the people that we're hiring, we're going to hire people who love to do research. We're going to hire people who love to find items. And for us, that might be menial and hard to focus on, but for someone, that's their perfect and ideal job that they love and that they are good at.
Totally agree, Jody. I want to jump out here too. For me, I think when you brought up the thing about hiring somebody to do house cleaning and stuff, I always rebelled it. Even when my daughter started going to junior high school this year, she's grade 7, I drove her. And my husband kept saying, you would save so much time just putting her on the bus. Just put her on the bus. Just put her on the bus. So January, I started, and we put her on the bus, and it was amazing how freed up I was. And it kind of got me to thinking, well, hey, I'm not the only one who can clean a house. I'm not the only one who can do laundry. I'm not the only one who can do this, grocery shopping and stuff. And so sometimes I think it's ourselves thinking that, well, what if they don't do it like how I like it? What if they don't do it for us like the family likes it, or like our kids or husband like it? But you know, you don't find out until you try it, and then you realize how much time you'll actually have for your business. And the virtual assistant we're working on right now is just, I think it's just going to be such an incredible booster for our business, because it's just going to skyrocket, because we're doing so much in front of our computer where we could assign it to somebody else, and we could do more. Like, we can implement so much more into our business if we do get a virtual assistant, because we don't have to do everything by ourselves. We don't have to get burned out our first or second year into this business, you know?
Yeah. I like the idea, too, where he said about having, and I wrote it down, but to consider college interns. You know, that was a really, really good point, too, because there are college students who are looking to do graphic type things. There are college students who are, you know, being trained on some social media and stuff like that. And, you know, that one I wrote down because I thought that is really powerful. And people need to get assignments done, or they need test websites and all sorts of stuff. Well, why not have someone who is doing that in college? I mean, it's probably something that's not going to be done in a day or two that we would like, but you could give them a project to do that could be done over a couple months, where they're actually learning how to, you know, make a website work right with all the stuff that you want in it, graphics and plugins and all sorts of stuff. So I really thought about that, and I'm like, okay, come September, I have a couple websites that I would probably like a student to take on that project. So I'm just going to contact, you know, the local college and see what services they offer, and if my business could be one of their tests. Why not?
Yeah, for sure. I also like the idea of hiring our kids. I mean, I was on a CPA webinar training where the accountant was saying to us, you have absolutely no idea how valuable it is to start using your teenagers and paying them. Because you can, at the end of the year, you can use those for write-ups and get money back for their university education. And so my daughter is 12, she's turning 13, and I said to her, you know, I can hire you. I needed a virtual assistant for some of this stuff, but some of this stuff you can do because you're just as good on the computer as I am. They learn this stuff in school, and why not use it? They have so much spare time, right?
They do, and they're getting so good at even. I was trying to send a text and I couldn't. I didn't know how to go back, and I missed like a letter and something like that. And my daughter just grabs my phone. Oh, Mom! And then she fixed it like in a couple seconds. So I totally agree. And my daughter has. I mentioned this before, but she kind of gets all her wordings, you know, mixed up and stuff like that. So when I met with her at school, because she's going into grade 8 next year, and it was very helpful. And when I suggested that I was going to hire her to do some Word document type work and Excel spreadsheets and stuff like that, and they were like, perfect. Like, this is what she will be learning next year, so she can get a jump start on it. And, you know, I've been paying her as well for doing our LinkedIn stuff too. But the more that we can delegate to our kids too, I mean, think of all the value of what they're learning. right? When you're an expert in an area and your kids can just kind of either watch over your shoulder or do it themselves as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, you guys, that's kind of funny because my daughter is 24, my oldest, and when she was the same age as my youngest, who is not quite the entrepreneur that she is, she started doing, helping me with my letters for credit repair. I was a mortgage broker. Then she kind of took over handling the cleaning of the credit for my clients. And when I got into the foreclosure world, at one point, when I learned to delegate and I had people, which I'm looking back, anyway, I had 9 processors and there's about 15 salespeople, and they would come into the room to listen to her negotiate with a bank because she was the best negotiator that we had. And right now, she is a mortgage broker, and she's doing phenomenal. And she's got a career. She was 21 years old making more money than I was.
Wow.
And yeah, and she learned this career at such a young age that what just started off of where you address these envelopes and just her, growing at 13 years old. By the time she was 18, she was my best negotiator when she graduated high school. And so, yeah, so it's, you guys, I mean, it's going to be amazing what this does for your children. My youngest, I'm worried. That's a work in progress. she'd rather sing and watch Netflix, and we're having to anyway. But yes, yes.
And you know what? And that's what, it's a growing thing too. And I'm like you, Scar. I actually have several older children too. And my oldest daughter is a nurse, but she started selling a spice business on the side because she wants to pay down her student loan more quickly by doing this. And I've been like an entrepreneur for probably over 21 years now, and I've had my own home businesses, and I did the home parties for quite a while, and that's what my daughter is doing now. And you don't think that you're really training them, but you are. She's going to be 23, and the exact same thing. She phoned me the other day. Her first couple shows, she's already had her first $1,000 show, I think was actually her starter show. And then she phoned me the other day that she already had a $1,500 show. And she wanted my advice on something because she's been trying to get help from the girl who signed her up, who's been kind of avoiding her. And she goes, I think it's because I've had higher shows than her already. And I just, I encouraged her. I'm like, you know what? That does seem to be the thing. And then other people who, I guess this is the difference between the business that we're in now versus a traditional business. And what I'm trying to train my daughter is, give her the chance to respond back to you because she's still learning. She's literally only been doing this job for maybe about a month and a half on the side, outside of her nursing. And I said, give her a chance to respond to what questions you have because she needs to still learn stuff. And I said, but if you're not getting the answers you seek, ask her who up ahead of her can help you out, right? Because this is the problem with a lot of businesses is that if someone does well in the same business that you're in, especially in the same town, there seems to be a how do you call it? A competing mode, right? Instead of let's all learn together. And I think that that's the biggest refreshing thing that I've had in this business with you ladies and with others here on the Google Hangouts and even on the Winning Women Network and our Unit of Prosperity. The biggest difference is that I don't feel that I'm in competition with anybody. Yeah. It's like we have such a strong bond of fellowship and really wanting everyone to succeed. And I just feel, and I know Diane's nodding her head and so is Scarlett, because we all have had the same experience. We've all been in businesses where competitiveness and jealousy and things like that hindered us. And this is such a freeing job that you don't have to worry about that, and where everyone is in support. And now, right now, because we are supporting each other in getting team members, not team members just in our business, but obviously team members as in virtual assistants, and there's no competition even with that. It's like, let's find out what's working and let's help each other. Here you go. Here's the information. And it's such a blessing to be part of a team like that, and you don't realize how good it is until you remember back to events that you might have had.
Yeah, that's so true. I'll actually, that's interesting you brought that up because my husband is in construction and building houses, and he comes home and he said, I really have to go for coffee with you. I really have to stick around with you because I gotta let some of this stuff rub off on me because the competitiveness is just driving me crazy at work. And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, let's go. And then we talk about all this mindset stuff and what's going to help him and how not to get too involved and stuff. And he's like, oh, I can't wait to be part of what you're doing at home. And I'm like, I know, it's just amazing. It's just like, I read this, even like this post that I read the other day, greener pastures are just over fear. And what it meant was you have to just get over fear. It's the same with the competitiveness. Once you figure out that if you don't have to compete in a business and if you don't have to compete with other people, you just seem to be soaring, you know, you just seem to be so much more at a higher level in your business and things just start flowing to you. Like I know, and Jody will know, I was always paranoid and scared about signing and recruiting. A lot of it, I just decided I can do it, and I started doing what I needed to do and just let it go, and all of a sudden I have a team, you know. So sometimes you just have to let go and just feel confident and just be there, you know.
Absolutely. It's funny because I had that same type of fear when it came to really going to my personal base, to my friends and family and let them know what I'm doing because it's this is kind of different than anything that I've ever done before. But when you're really what I love about business that we do is we're helping teach and train others into being able to create a career. You could take our business away tomorrow, and we have educated people on how to earn a living and earn a great income off of eBay and Amazon and have their own business. We're not selling a product that's just tangible, usable, and it's gone. We're creating something that people could do for the rest of their lives. And I love that. And in that, we also have our business, which is, so much about personal development, so much about relationships. And for me, just it seems like a like-minded group of people when it comes to my, faith in Christ and everything like that as well. So it's just so awesome. Although you don't have to have that to be part of it, it's just still so amazing the group of people that have been pulled into our group as well. So I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, and what's encouraging for me too is because I'm a stay-home mom and a lot of us are stay-home moms, this is so doable for them to do the eBay side of it. They don't even have to worry about the recruiting side of it. They can make money, they can make an amazing business just out of the eBay side of it. So that's
absolutely. I joke about it. But I literally sat Saturday with my husband on Netflix, some show. How he gets on that habit where he likes to watch the shows over and over. And I'm just listing on eBay the whole time. I'm listing and watching, and I'm right there next to him. And had 4 sales and made $80. So that's awesome. You know what I mean? So you're completely correct that this is a great job. I hope that my daughter, converts over to something like this or like this when it's time for her to become a mommy and be home. Because I did mortgages from home, and you know what? You don't have the stress of, did someone hand in their paperwork? Did somebody, oh my goodness, all the stress. Yes, you can work from home in corporate America, but the pressure and stress and the anxiety, I lived it, and I don't really remember being at home, being my children, and the small events and everything as much because I always had something going on. With this, it's so low pressure. It's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think anything beats, this weekend I got to hang out and just watch my kids play ball. And the biggest question that I get from people when they are responding to my ads and stuff, and I guess it's because maybe it's a price point of only $20 that, people are like, is this for real? Like, what's the catch?
I get that when my phone cha-chings.
Yeah, that's usually the question that I get from a lot of people. Are you actually making money from this? And, and I'm like, yeah. And I think that the value for what they do for $20, there was another lady who has a similar program, and she has a great big following, so I'm not going to mention names, but she had $1,000 program that is so similar to our $20 a month program. And I just think, wow. And look how many people she signed a lot of people in the last 3 months into that $1,000 program too, versus our $20 program, which it looks almost identical, except for the fact that we have such great leaders. Roger, is a titanium seller. So having somebody who's actually made more than $1 million on eBay itself and to teach us that is amazing. So we're at the 9:30 time, so I guess it's time for us to wrap up.
Okay. Bear with me, as this is probably my third time wrapping up, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us today. And if you would like to get the book, if you'd like to connect with the person, go back to the person who invited you today and to get more information about the business that we do. And also, that we do. And also, join us on our Facebook page, Fearless Online Entrepreneurs, and connect with us there as well. But again, if you'd like to get the copy of the book, please go see the person that invited you today. And we will see you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat place. And you guys, everybody have a great day.